afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Redberryweo here, and welcome back to another quick Civil Air Patrol video. In today's video, I'm actually doing a more in-depth video that discusses the tie and the tie tab. Now, quick story time before I actually get into the video. I learned how to tie a tie once. I was going to Belgium for IAs, and I was taught how to tie a tie because the uniform is gray pants, a white aviator shirt, and then a tie. And it was like a special IA tie. It wasn't this one. This is one of the blue ties that you can order from Vanguard, which males wear, and it's required to wear with your service coat and when you're wearing long sleeves. And sometimes if you're a first sergeant, you might want to wear a tie just to be a little bit fancier. So, anyway, I learned how to tie a tie, like, in a hallway of a hotel, just randomly. They were like, oh, you need to learn how to tie a tie. We're going to teach you how to do that. And I was like, okay. And then when I actually got there and we had to wear our uniforms and everything, a bunch of people did not know how to do a tie. And so I ended up tying quite a few of them, and I would like tie them on my neck first, and then I would hand them to the other people. And it was pretty funny, but I enjoyed that trip. And if you want more information on that IA's trip, I did make a video at one point about it. But anyway, so this is the tie. This is what the end result looks like after we tie it, and I will show you step by step how to do that, and then I'll do a few pointers on how to do ye olde tie tab, because the tie tab really isn't that complicated. It's just a piece of Velcro that you do, but I will say some tips that I have learned that it's not really that complicated, but I'll talk about it because it's another part of the uniform that's good to talk about. So I'm going to undo this knot here. Goodbye. So the one that I am teaching you today is the full Windsor. Now the full Windsor, it looks a little bit more professional. You can do something called a half Windsor, which is basically where you do like half the steps. Tying a tie really isn't too difficult once you've tried it once or twice. It may take a few tries, and the reason why it would take a few tries is because the lengths of your two ends might be vastly different. And at the end, you can't have this one, which actually has 3 holes for when you want it to be on the buttons and you push the button through, and then it holds it in place. This tail cannot be too long, or else it will poke out of the bottom of this longer, wider end, which looks really bad, and you can't have that. So when I put this on, I'm going to make sure that it's laying flat on my neck, on the back, and I'm going to set it so that there's about 1.5 feet of extra material on the end of the bigger side, and then I've got my smaller side just kind of chilling over here. So the first step we do is we cross the big end over the smaller end, so it makes a cross, and I'm going to take the big one, pull it through from underneath, and go over once, okay? And we want to make sure that it's pretty flat when we're doing this. We're going to go on the back side, underneath, across, and then we're going to do the same step of just pulling it over and in again. So it should kind of have like the 2 loops, and then we're going to go across. We're going to cover it, so going across, and then we pull this end through the front. So I made that really loose so that you could see each step. It should not look like this. It should not have that big long tail. So I'm going to do it one more time a little bit faster. And you guys, hopefully, once you get mastery of it, you will be a little bit faster and you won't take too long doing it. You can also just get the clip-on version, and that's a choice if you want to do that. But so quickly through these steps, I'm going over, across, like across the top of the shorter one, going over, going behind on the back side, and then going over again, just kind of like what we did on that first step. And we're bringing it back to that side that we just did, going across, and we are now on this side, and we're going to push this through and pull it down. Okay, so on me it looks a little funny because I am not wearing my uniform. I would not be wearing a tie with my blues. I would be wearing a tie tab because I wear tie tabs. And so we've got our little tail here and we've got the bigger tail here. And when you compare them, the small tail is sort of poking out just a little bit. But as we adjust here, we might be able to get it to stick out just a little bit, or not have it stick out. I'm gonna just adjust this by pulling a little bit here and there and clean it up. Okay, so when you have your shirt, you're gonna have the collar, and so you'll want your collar to be up, and then you'll put on your tie, and then you'll flatten your collar back down again. Make sure it's flat around all sides. The tightness that I've done it is approximately what your tie will be like, and if you need to tighten it, you pull down on the smaller one. You pull down if you want it to be tighter, and then you can just pull to make it looser. And so that is how you tie a wonderful full Windsor. And some people I have known, they just tie it once and then they never tie it again. The full Windsor really isn't too challenging to do, but it looks very nice, and so please feel free to use the full Windsor as your knot for when you are tying ties. Going into the tie tab just a little bit, the tie tab is the same process of making sure that you're wearing it with your collar. It should be aligned nicely with the way that the collar is, because the collar should basically be like the W that lines up underneath it. So you'll have to adjust it. You might need to tighten it, you might need to loosen it, and it takes a few tries to do it sometimes, but since it's Velcro, it's really easy to do and it shouldn't be a problem. But that's just the quick video here on how to do your tie tab and your tie. So if you got any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and that is all, folks. Until next time, toodles.